Hello, Robbie Wong here, and we're going to do a new video on how to evolve your deck as time goes on, because I think of Magic Arena as an ecosystem, and as time goes on, it changes because new predators are released into the ecosystem, and then you have to adjust. Sometimes entire piles of cards are made irrelevant, and I like to create a new deck. Like, this says Goblin sideboard, but really this should just be Goblin 75 question mark considerations. And let's just go through each pile. Most of this are sideboard options, and some of it are main deck considerations in order to hedge your bets or make your deck a little bit more combo oriented or a little bit um, more aggro, etc. So this first pile is just different removal spells I've seen people use. So and this is just MTG Goldfish going through different iterations and saying, oh, that's interesting. They're using this as a sideboard card. Why? So Chandra's Defeat, 5 damage to a red creature or a red planeswalker, does not shoot face, but if that permanent is a Chandra, you discard a card. If you do, you could draw a card. So this could potentially be good against other Chandras that your opponent's red deck will be playing. Red Cap Melee against Mono Red is incredible. The instant speed, it can take out Muxuses. Lava Coil, it can kill, will exile some creatures if it sticks. It's also 4 damage for 2, so it's a little bit more than, say, Chain Whirler or a Braid, which is 3. But it's sorcery speed, so it's not strictly better or strictly worse. Gem Palm Incinerator, it fits the Goblin theme, so you can hit this with Muxus, and you can search it up too with Matron, but it's contingent on having a lot of Goblins on the field. Rampaging Ferocidon is anti-creature because now it's pinging them. Chain Whirler can take out a lot of X1s, finish off a Planeswalker if it's low, like a Teferi after it's tucked something. And then a Crowan War, this is one specifically that I've enjoyed in the Sultai matchup because opponent, it goes into the mid game, it goes into the late game, opponent plays some big Hydroid Crisis, some Uro, and then you get to take it for a little bit, and then it reverts back after a Crowan War is done. Worth noting that if you have Phyrexian Tower out with a Crowan War, you have to go into full control if you want to respond to the third saga. So the last second you could sacrifice that creature, you do have to go into full control. I learned that the hard way. These creatures are anti-artifact, and a Braid also belongs in this pile, instant speed, and this way you can take out opposing artifacts, specifically the 1 mana artifact that keeps your guys from coming from the library. The name is escaping me right now. This pile of cards is anti-control possibilities. So Conspicuous Snoop, it doesn't get around Grafdigger's Cage. I knew it was going to happen. This doesn't get around Grafdigger's Cage, but you can generate some value off of Conspicuous Snoop because it's allowing you to draw extra cards off the top. Same thing for Herald's Horn. If you look at the top of your deck before you draw and it's a Goblin, you just put it in your hand, you've basically drawn 2 cards for the turn. And this is a cost reduction. There's a coupon. Sorcerer's Spyglass can take out opposing Planeswalkers if they're a problem. Goblin Ringleader in the grindy matchup is hilarious because this oftentimes reads draw 4 cards. 4 mana, 2/2 haste, draw 4 cards. Chandra Torch of Defiance. I haven't played with this one yet. I don't even have a copy yet. But for 4 mana, you can jump so that your 5th turn you have enough mana to cast Muxus. And it's a diversification of threats because it's not a Goblin. It doesn't get swept away by creature removal, so maybe the 6th round. Same thing for Chandra. Here are some lands that I've considered, forgotten, or other people have considered and I've yet to try out. Forgotten Cave can cycle, so you want a high land count because 6 mana is a lot. Heraldic Banner is not one I've seen, but I threw it in here because, this is aggressive because it's kind of a Lord, and it also ramps you from 3 mana to 4, so the next turn you could have 5. So interested to see if this has any weight. There are a lot of cards to consider here. Shatter Skull Smashing, I've replaced several mountains, so that way there is a main deck removal spell against, say, Hushbringer, which is a card that really shuts us down, and this lets us. It's not cheap, and if they've enchanted it, it's out of there. But every now and again, there's a window where you can stick the landing here, and it was taking the spot of a mountain, which it can still do a pretty good impersonation of. Valakut Awakening, I've been taking a page out of Neoform's deck and shuffling cards away so that I can dig to my combo kill. Sometimes matters in a couple of games, and it does a okay impersonation of a mountain. I haven't died yet, knock on wood, because I needed this to be untapped, but I saw this in a sideboard list. I'm not sure what it's here for. Soul Guide Lantern is graveyard hate / it cycles, and I saw one sideboard list with the Storm's Wrath, which I'm not sure if you're playing a creature deck and you've got all this, but hey, it's red, it works. So looking at these piles and organizing it into a separate deck of its own allows me to look at it. So for instance, I was looking at my little metagame thing, and the last couple of days playing Goblins has been really ineffective, not climbing the ladder. Just getting dumpstered by Sultai Ramp and Gruul Aggro and Azorius Control. It's not going well like it was when I first started. This doesn't take all of this into account, and we made it into Mythic the last month off of this list. So when this starts happening, I was like, man, I feel bad because I keep losing and I want to win. So then I can look at this and be like, well, what am I really starting to pull away from? Let's say we keep playing and then Gruul Aggro goes just absolutely haywire. Then I can look at this, well, I'm not doing so well against Gruul Aggro. Maybe my sideboard or main board needs a few more cards to hedge that bet. And then this allows me to look at it through this lens and make choices based off of these piles. And if somebody has a new idea and they play a card I've never seen before, then I can throw it in here casually and be like, well, this is a possibility for the future. I might not completely understand it. Like this Edifice of Authority, I can read the card and I understand what the card does, but I have trouble picturing, well, why was that choice made? Which matchup is it there for? Matchup or matchups? The other thing to consider is every now and again somebody tries to splash different colors and different variations come out. So let's look at red-black, and now you have Thoughtseize, access to Thoughtseize to pull sweepers, or Witch's Vengeances, etc. out of their hands before they can hit you, and you can, do your plan. And then I've also seen a couple lists for just a second where you play some dual lands with red-white, and you can play cards like Luminous Broodmoth to, again, protect. The theme is protect against the sweeper. How do we insulate ourselves against that? So I don't have this for every single deck that I play. The ones that I really, really enjoy a lot and have success with, I typically start to build that. So my blue-white tempo list, this is a list of all the counterspells that I'm aware of. So mostly I want to exist here in the 1 and 2 drop slots because the 3 and the 4 for tempo gets ridiculous. But if the metagame shifts, if there are spells counter spells that become better because the meta starts to shift away from that, again you can start to hedge your bets. And having Arena remember these lists is a lot better than me trying to write it down, and it just takes up one of the 75 deck slots. The inspiration came from Nikachu. He has a video somewhere where he has a binder full of merfolk, and it's just all the different kind of merfolk that he could potentially choose to put into his main board and sideboard. And I thought, that's fantastic. What a great way to organize your thoughts that's separate from your playing deck, so that way you can keep making choices, because this is not like when I started playing Magic a long time ago where the next set is like 3 years away. The the archetypes and the arena that you play in keeps evolving and shaping, and people have new ideas, and so you can't just have your deck statically exist and expect it to succeed. I have somewhere in the back of my collection the very first couple of historic decks, like, where is it? Like Historic Burn from like a million years ago, and like the very very old list. I have the mono white list, which was the other one, or like this mono blue list. Like, you could legally play this right now. Actually, this one doesn't look that different from the modern one. Let's do where's that Historic Burn? Yeah, like this one, the Experimental Frenzy from like Guilds of Ravnica time. Like, this doesn't even, oh, this is even different from the one. This is like the Chandra's Spitfire. But if you try and run this list now, it doesn't do what it used to do, and nobody really handles it. And there's new tools available for those colors. Oh man, if I deleted the historic mono white list, yeah, this one doesn't look like. Remember this? Dauntless Bodyguard, Healer's Hawk, Law Rune Enforcer, Legion's Landing, Sky Marshal, Snubhorn Sentry, into your 2-drops, into History of Benalia, or Benelish Marshal, and then hopefully you don't need to remove a whole lot, and then you Unbreakable Forge formation at the end. Like, this is a list I had from the beginning of the collection, and this is Splash Black, and I tried playing this at some point, and it was just a joke, and I had like 2 History of Benalias in my hand, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited to try this again, and history to history is not what it used to be. So that's a way you can look at your collection, look at your cards, and try and eke out a few more percentages instead of just feeling bad or just sort of swimming through the ocean. Having some semblance of information and control, I think, helps to make you feel less of a victim in the current metagame. Alright, well, I'm Robbie Wong. Thanks for watching this video, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.